Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak to the Health and Agriculture and Environment Committee's report on its consideration of the 2024-25 budget estimates. This year hearing went from 8:30 in the morning to 8:30 at night, so it was a great day. But even that wasn't nearly long enough for the members, especially cross-bench, to properly examine the large portfolio. But I think the committee chair and all the secretariat, we did have a good day. Although members did the best we could, the committee has recommended that the proposed expenditure as detailed in the appropriation bill for the committee's area of responsibility be agreed to without amendment. And I do not oppose this recommendation, but I've lodged a statement of reservation which was tabled with the report. And one thing left out of my statement, which I'd like to mention here, Deputy Speaker, are my concerns over the government's frequent machinery of government changes, which added to the difficulties of this year. The changes made it hard for members to compare the financial performance, detect long-term trends or assess how well each department delivers its programs and services when all its areas of operation are constantly being changed, all of which serves to greatly reduce the transparency and limit the proper scrutiny of government. Apart from that, I felt that the committee's estimates hearing was very productive this year, and I was particularly happy to hear from the Health Minister that Rockhampton will be soon getting a PET scanner, something I've lobbied hard for. According to the Minister, the department is now looking for an available space to house the scanner and its radiation shielding before commencing on-site training of the staff. It's hoped that the scanner will be up and running as soon as possible, particularly in the light of the Minister's advice at estimates that 33,000 Queenslanders are now diagnosed with cancer every year, a much higher number than other states. While the Minister made reference to skin cancers, I have heard from oncologists that the rate of prostate and bowel cancer in Queensland is also extraordinarily high. According to the Ministers, the department will focus on nuclear medicine and a raft of other cancer treatment programs, all form part of the government's response to Queensland's unprecedented cancer rate. However, there was no mention of any research studies or funding programs either at the hearing or in budget papers aimed at finding out why so many Queenslanders are now being diagnosed with cancer. This needs to be an absolute priority of any cancer research programs going forward, I believe. And turning to the environment portfolio, I was surprised to learn that the Environment Department appears to have had almost no involvement in the decision-making process around the Pioneer Burdekin pumped hydro project, which is absolutely I am against. And it took only a few questions before it became very apparent that the department has done no modelling or studies on the project's environmental impacts, particularly on the area's unique platypus and koala populations. Not only that, but the young-owl honeyeater and the day's gastric frog, Deputy Speaker. The Minister and departmental staff even seemed somewhat confused that I would even expect that this might be something they should have done, or that the industrial-sized wind projects that are strung out across my electorate might also call for some kind of environmental assessment to be carried out on what impact these giant turbines might have on the region's plentiful but vulnerable flora and fauna. Yep, eventually I'll take the interjection from the member of Ipswich West. I was told that the department had no involvement whatsoever with any of these projects, and I was referred to onto the Queensland Planning Minister. An astonishing response from the department that has been absolutely relentless when it comes to chasing down small farmers and commercial fishermen for the slightest environmental infraction they can conjure up. Yet when it comes to these massive private consortiums hacking their way through our mountains, state forests, blasting mountain tops, all we hear is crickets, and the worms in my front yard are making more noise, Deputy Speaker. What this tells me is that the government is perfectly happy to throw the environment and wildlife under the bus when it suits their political agenda, and it's shameful. And when it comes to the state's so-called green transition, it certainly does. That said, I would like to thank the chair and the other members of the committee again. Many thanks also go to the hard-working secretariat, the parliamentary staff, who all work extremely hard to ensure our estimates run so smoothly. And again, I will say it, there just needs to be more scrutiny. If these renewable projects were so good, let the sun shine in, let us see all the different, contractual agreements, what it means for Queensland, what it's going to cost for Queensland, when does it stop? Are they going to piggyback onto the actual infrastructure that they're going to put in place? All these power lines and that, they'll run it up the Pioneer Valley. How many other dams are proposed to put in there and destroy that beautiful valley and all those beautiful animals and all that flora and fauna? It's disgraceful. Thank you.